Hello, welcome. Today we will practice Aiken grade Pre-1's speaking test. We will go through as a simulation and I will go over answers at the end. Let's get started. Hello, may I have your card, please? Thank you. Please have a seat. My name is Anna Kudo. May I have your name, please? Mr. Abe, this is the grade Pre-1 test, okay? Mr. Abe, could you tell me a little about yourself? Oh, that's interesting. All right, let's start. Here's your card. You have 1 minute to prepare before you start your narration. All right, please begin your narration. You have 2 minutes. Thank you. Now I am going to ask you 4 questions. Are you ready? Number 1, please look at the 4th picture. If you were the boy, what would you be thinking? Now, Mr. Abe, please turn over the card and put it down. Number 2, should more be done to make public transportation accessible to everyone? Number 3. Do you think social media can be used to raise awareness about accessibility issues? Number 4. Nowadays, tourism in Japan is increasing. Do you think tourists should have to follow Japanese etiquette rules? Well, that's all, Mr. Abe. Could I have the card back, please? Thank you. You may go now. Okay, that's all for the simulation. Now we're going to go over the questions and answers. First, let's go back and look at the pictures. Picture 1 shows a boy with an injured or broken leg on a train, and he can't sit because it's too crowded. He looks unhappy. Picture 2 is 6 weeks later. The boy is holding a sign saying care for others, and they seem to be campaigning for priority seats. Picture 3 shows 2 workers, and it looks like they're putting in a sign for priority seats. Picture 4 is 2 months later. The boy again is on a train, and there is an elderly person and a man with an injured arm, and they are both sitting. The boy looks happy. So let's use this information to make an example narration. One day, a boy was on his way to school. He wanted to take a seat on the train, but could not because there were none. No one offered him a seat. This was a problem because his leg was broken, and it was difficult for him to stand. 6 weeks later, he was campaigning to add priority seats on trains. A month later, some workers added signs on the train to designate some seats as priority seats. Now, disabled people, elderly people, and pregnant people can use these seats. 2 months later, the boy was on a train again. He saw that an elderly man and an injured man were using the priority seats. He was happy his efforts paid off. Now, at the most basic level, this is a good answer because it does use the correct first sentence. Always make sure you use the sentence from the card as your first sentence. It also uses the transition phrases. 6 weeks later, a month later, 2 months later. You want to use these in your answer. It makes a clear transition from one photo to the next. Now, the rest of the answer can vary a lot, but there's many versions that are good. You want to mention that the boy could not sit down, that the boy was injured, next that he was campaigning or that he was asking for priority seats. Next, you need to talk about the workers adding a sign or adding a place for disabled people. Then finally, you want to talk about how the boy is happy. Okay, so those are the basics of the narration. If you have any questions about the version you made, please put it in the comments and I will respond, okay? Question number 1. Please look at the 4th picture. If you were the boy, what would you be thinking? So you want to start this answer with I would be thinking, and then fill in the thoughts. My campaign worked. Now people who need seats can sit down. Maybe I can help with other problems. Because the boy looks happy in the picture, whatever thoughts you use here need to be happy or positive. Okay? Now, I would advise, because the grade Pre-1 is a kind of advanced level, if you can, try to match your tone of voice with the tone of the thoughts. In this case, because the boy's happy, it's best if you can say, my campaign worked. Now people who need seats can sit down. Maybe I can help with other problems. This tone sounds happy, so it's well suited. If, for example, the boy looked sad, you'd want to try and match that tone as well. It didn't work. Maybe next time I can do better. This is more advanced English to match a tone without any practice. But again, because this is a Pre-1 level, I encourage you to try. Now, question number 2. Should more be done to make public transportation accessible to everyone? So, with these answers, you're going to want to start by stating your opinion. I think so, or I don't think so. With I think so, most people in wheelchairs cannot get on and off public transportation by themselves. Currently, they have to have other people help set things up, like ramps. I think we should create solutions that allow people to be independent. Now, this answer is good because it has reasons and specific examples. Those are the 2 things you want to try and use in your opinion answers. The reason why you have that an opinion and an example of it, if you can think of one in the moment. I know that can be a little difficult, so shorter answers are okay, and I'll show you examples of those in the next question. Now let's look at the I don't think so. I don't think so. Most public transportation is already accessible with things like ramps and priority seating. I think it would be better to spend that money on something like education or healthcare. What I want to point out in this answer is the last sentence. It doesn't just say what they think shouldn't be done, but gives an example of what they think should be done instead. I think this is a good thing to add on to your negative answers. So if you say, I don't think so, I don't agree, no, I don't, in those answers, if you can add on what you should do instead, it makes a well thought out answer. Again, this is kind of challenging to do during the test. So if you can't do it, it's okay, but it is a good goal to have. Okay, let's look at question number 3. Do you think social media can be used to raise awareness about accessibility issues? So social media is also sometimes called SNS. Now, in English-speaking countries, we don't usually use the term SNS. We use social media. So for this, it's either yes, I do, or no, I don't. These are a little bit more simple examples. Yes, I do. Social media is good at connecting people around the world, so it is a good tool for exchanging ideas and teaching people. This is still a good answer. It states your opinion and why it's good. It answers why. Connecting people around the world. It is good at connecting people around the world. That is your why. So it's still a good answer. It could be better if you could add more examples, possibly of how it connects people, like through instant messaging. But you don't have to. Now for the no, I don't answer. Social media is often not well checked and has wrong information. This makes it a poor choice for raising awareness about accessibility issues. Again, this answer is simple, but still good. It gives the reason. It is not well checked and has wrong information. Now, again, it could be better if you can add more examples or tell me what to do instead. So, instead, I think we should talk about accessibility issues in school. So that would be a good thing to add and make the answer a little more thought out, but you don't have to do it. Last question, number 4. Nowadays, tourism in Japan is increasing. Do you think tourists should have to follow Japanese etiquette rules? Nowadays means recently. It's not a phrase you hear as commonly as some of the others, like recently, currently, but it's a good word to know still. Again, this is an opinion answer. Yes, I do. No, I don't. So, yes, I do. If you visit another country, you should learn about their rules and etiquette. Tourists should respect the local culture. No, I don't. Every country's rules are different, and it is too difficult to learn all the different rules. As long as they pay attention to their surroundings, it should be okay. Again, these are both good answers, but they could be made better with more specific examples. So because we are in Japan, you could use a specific example of people needing to be quiet on the trains so as not to disrupt people's daily lives. Or for a no, I don't, you could use an example that Japanese rules are very difficult for other people to understand. So it's not reasonable to expect them to follow them. So when you give more specific examples, usually that's a higher level answer. If you have any questions about today's simulation, please put them in the comments and I will respond. Goodbye. Now for question 2. Question 2, 3, and 4 are all opinion questions. What makes a good opinion answer is to clearly state your opinion. I think so. Yes, I do. No, I don't think so. And then to give your reason, and if you can, a specific example. This will make for a clear and thorough answer. So let's look at some examples. I think so. Your opinion. Most people in wheelchairs cannot get on and off public transportation by themselves. Currently, they have to have other people set things up like ramps. I think we should create solutions that allow people to be independent. This is a very good answer because it gives the reason why you think so, that there's still problems with accessibility. People in wheelchairs can't get on and off public transportation. It has very clear and specific examples. Let's look at the I don't think so. I don't think so. Most public transportation is already accessible with things like ramps and priority seating. I think it would be better to spend that money on something like education or healthcare. Again, it clearly states the opinion and it gives examples like ramps and priority seating. Now, if you give a negative answer, I don't think so, no, I don't agree. With these answers, it's a good idea to give an example of what you should do instead. It can be kind of difficult to do this, so it's okay if you don't. But to sound more natural and to have a well thought out opinion, it's a good idea to try. In this example, I think it would be better to spend that money on something like education or healthcare. That is your example of what you should do instead. Okay? Now for question 3 and 4, I'm going to show you answers that are more simple but still good. Question 3. Do you think social media can be used to raise awareness about accessibility issues? Okay, so first off, social media. Social media is SNS. In most English-speaking countries, we don't use SNS. We instead use the phrase social media. Okay? Now let's look at the answers. Yes, I do. Social media is good at connecting people around the world. So it is a good tool for exchanging ideas and teaching people. No, I don't. Social media is often not well checked and has wrong information. This makes it a poor choice for raising awareness about accessibility issues. Now, both of these are good answers. They state the opinion and they give a reason why. For the yes, I do, it is good at connecting people around the world. For no, I don't, it's not well checked and has wrong information. So if you give an answer like this, that's great. But like I said for question number 2, these could be improved by adding a specific example. So for yes, I do, if you can add an example of how it connects people, maybe through messaging or video calls, that would improve the answer. Okay? Question 4. Nowadays, tourism in Japan is increasing. Do you think tourists should have to follow Japanese etiquette rules? So nowadays means recently. It's not as often used as phrases like recently or currently, but it has a similar meaning. Next is etiquette. Etiquette is just kind of your social rules that you need to follow. Now again, these are more simple answers, but they're still good. Yes, I do. If you visit another country, you should learn about their rules and etiquette. Tourists should respect the local culture. No, I don't. Every country's rules are different, and it's too difficult to learn all the different rules. As long as they pay attention to their surroundings, it should be okay. Again, these could be made slightly better if you could give specific examples, maybe about a rule that is important to follow, such as being quiet on the train, or a more specific example of why it's difficult to learn these rules. However, in these tests, one of the things you are graded on is your naturalness. And if you are stumbling over your words a lot to try and use more advanced English, that can actually cost you points in the grading. So it's better to use simpler, clearer English than it is to try for more advanced English and stumble a lot or make mistakes. So just keep that in mind during the test, to not force yourself too much. Only use what you can do naturally and confidently. But if you have any questions, please let me know. Write it in the comments and I will reply. Okay, that's all for today. Goodbye.